Hello everyone, we are here with Cristianne Close from WWF. I would like to ask her a few questions. So, we've been discussing today a lot on sustainability, and I would like to ask you, what is the role of the private sector in driving positive change?
Well, I think the private sector is critical. You know, we have public, government, but we really think in the power of markets to drive change. Because at the end of the day, for long-term success, you need to have a business case, right? There's only so much you can get with a grant, with a subsidy from the government. When you have a business case, and you have a company, and you have a market, and consumers support that, that's when you achieve the long-term change. And at the end of the day, we need to evolve our economic model into a circular economy, into growth that understands the triple bottom line. So I think the private sector is fundamental for sustainability.
That makes sense. Let me pick on the topic of deforestation for a second. So as we are approaching 2020, has enough been done? And if not, how can we scale up action on deforestation-free commodities?
Well, I won't give my personal opinion. I will give you some data, right? So in 2014, the New York Declaration of Forest established the objective to halve deforestation by 2020. And it was signed in the UN General Meeting. Since then until today, year after year, deforestation has increased 42% year after year. So the obvious answer is no, we have not done enough. But I think we collectively have failed in that. So it's not just the private sector, it's governments, NGOs, consumers, companies. We all have collectively failed because we allowed for this to happen. Right? So I think there's much more. And that's why I say we need to revisit our growth model and our consumption models to achieve what we want in deforestation.
Let me move to another very hot topic, and that is plastics pollution. How can we move from commitments that we've seen many corporates, many governments, many organizations committing to do something about plastics? How do we move from those commitments into action to avoid precisely what happened on deforestation, that it was very difficult to avoid?
Well, you know, WWF, we partnered with Ellen MacArthur Foundation. Ellen MacArthur Foundation today have over 450 signatures to their global commitments to end plastic pollution. So as you say, great to have the commitments. What we have launched a couple of months ago is a platform to actually do exactly what you say, move commitments into action. But what do you need for that, right? So I'm not talking just about what WWF is doing with resource plastic, is you need to measure. You know, in all these things, and same thing with deforestation, when we started measuring, you start realizing, okay, where do I need to change? What happens? So first of all, what we're trying to develop is plastic pollution footprint calculator. So we're working with 5 companies, Coke, Starbucks, McDonald's, Tetra Pak, Dr. Pepper, and we're trying to understand, okay, what's your footprint and where are your problems on plastic pollution, which is different on plastic production. Everybody knows how much they produce on plastic. It's how much your plastic is polluting. So we're also talking to many other organizations like IUCN, World Economic Forum, to try to develop this methodology around measuring in cities, the private sector, because once you measure, you know where you need to change. And I think that's what's been happening with plastics. It's been so fast, everybody wants to act, but we don't know where is the problem. Of course, waste management, but also on the product design, on how you can reuse some product. And that will change the whole delivery mechanism of some companies to be able to be reusable. So yeah, it's moving into that space. Great to have the commitments, but as we know, we need the action part.
Well, we could be talking for a couple of days on these topics. I just picked deforestation and plastics in this case. But I want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Ignacio.